I mean, it's supposed to be a
All right,
conversation
we're
with Polar Bear
live.
6 and Polar Bear 7.
Yeah.
All right, we're live on the official Command Team Live. There's gonna be a new thing with Polar Bear 6 and then Jerry Heim.
Yeah.
uh I like to get these command teams on and kind of I think we kind of talked about it, Chris, before, like getting the perspective of like the battalion commander and Jerry, what you do, when you do, you're the sergeant major and stuff like that. And I think it's very important to have these conversations and kind of just show that you guys are normal people too.
Yeah. You wanna start, Chris, or we go through, like, it's pretty cool to be, paired with a pretty cool guy. Sometimes you get paired with people you don't really necessarily like, but I was fortunate enough to get paired with an awesome dude for like 30 something months. Um, but it makes it easier when you get along, right? So, like, we are humans and we do put people in position that they don't, or necessarily like or like to be in, or they do, I don't know. But making decisions for an organization, good or bad, and most of the time you're the center point of all the negative attention. You just got to have a good partner with you, man. And being paired with Chris was like something that was pretty awesome, going through some trials and tribulations and us being able to talk to each other and getting through, because we have nobody else when you're on, like, at that level. There's no one else to really talk to except for each other. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, I think Chris froze up. Can you hear us?
Oh no.
Oh, that's all right.
See,
Um,
this is what battalion command. See, this is why I'm here, right?
yeah. So
Like,
I have a question.
yeah.
Let m- so do you guys get a? Oh well, that's my wife.
No, that's his call sign. So we
Yeah,
we go by when we're on the radio out in the field or whatever. It's the senior enlisted is 7, and he's usually 6. So I'm like
yeah,
polar bear 7, and he's polar bear 6.
yeah. Hey, so let me ask you a question. So, like, when other battalions get in trouble, do you guys get notified too?
I mean, what do you think, Chris?
I'm serious.
Yeah, no. So we find out about it. I mean, everybody talks. It's imagine the Joe Network, okay, but it's us, the sixes and sevens of the worlds. We find out about it.
Yeah,
And it usually starts with something about like me walking into Jerry's office being like, "Yo, have you fucking heard what just happened?"
Yeah.
Or vice
And we're like,
versa.
we gotta, hey, or like, holy shit, what did you just hear? What, like, whatever battalion did, right? But it's funny too, man, because like the other command teams, the other battalions, like we don't really, I mean, we talk to each other once in a while, but there's not a lot of crosstalk, man. And the guys in the organization, especially like the younger guys, have a lot of better pulse on what goes on sometimes with, like, within the brigade. They'll know what's happening in other battalions quick. 'Cause they're all buddies and friends with each
yeah,
other, and they know what's, there's rivalries between battalions, but yeah, they know, and we talk about it because it's going to affect us anyways. It's going to affect our battalion somehow if somebody does something stupid in another battalion. But sometimes there's just a mixed bag of people doing stupid across the board, and you're just caught up in it. Like,
yeah.
you know,
Hey, so how does so actually, I made the joke on there like, hey, why are we here at work at 2000 on a Friday before the weekend? I know a
you
lot of people.
blame it on Chris.
Yeah, I know that happens, right? So why? So like when these taskings come down, like, hey, we got these last. I'm speaking to the general population of the military veterans that are gonna watch, or the military people that are gonna watch this, right? The active duty guys. Like what? Like who tells you, Chris, that like, hey, this has got to be a priority.
Oh shit, man. Okay, so you want the truth?
Yeah, I want to know, like, hey, you're like, hey, I need to do
That
this right now, or maybe this can wait till
that
Monday,
your
or
boss. Okay, your boss has mismanaged his time or her time. That is why you're there till 8
ah,
o'clock at night. Somebody
do you,
somewhere up and down the chain of command has completely like foobarred time management, and it has now trickled down into, private Heim and private row having to go dig a hole out in the middle of nowhere because that hole should have been dug at 1300 and it didn't get down to you until 1900. And well, it finally made it down to private row and private Heim at 2000. And so we're out there with our e-tool and a spoon trying to dig a hole.
Jeremy, too, man. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy in those things too when leaders mess up, right? So like, especially being a battalion command team, man, you take all the shit, dude. Like,
you do.
If there's somebody working late in the companies, it's so easy to say, "Hey, man, Colonel Rowe told us we got to be here till 2100," right? And nobody, like, they're not going to go like check that. They're like, "Oh, Colonel Rowe or Sergeant Major Heim said that," and it's like some fault and some other issues, right? And all levels of leadership do that. Somehow it always ends up being the top person's fault sometimes, right? That might sound terrible, but it's just easy to say that if you're making a hard decision, right? Hey, my leader told me to do that. My leader told you to stay late. I mean, you hear that all the time, right? So I don't know, man. And like Rose says, it is somebody's messed up there. We tried to get the guys out. I know not some of them are, probably disagree sometimes, but we tried as hard as we can.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that instance, right, where as we were getting ready for the deployment in November, there's going to be some late days, man. If you remember from our conversation before, right, from really what was it, Jerry, about August to November, we were just nuts to butt, like going. Whether that was us doing training ourselves or the brigade doing a CTC like rotation for us, and then all of our pre-deployment prep as well. And so, yeah, there comes a point in time sometimes where you run out of hours in a day and something's got to get done. But by and large, I would argue that 75 to 85% of the time, somebody has just mismanaged their time appropriately. Or there's been a lapse in communication or something. Because Jerry, I think he'll echo what I'm about to say is I would walk down the hallways around 1650 every single day, and I would start kicking people out of the office. I would physically walk in their offices and ask them, "What are you working on right now?" "Oh, well, I got this, and this, and it's due or whatever." "Okay, you know who I am, right?" "Yes, sir. You're Polar Bear 6. "Okay, did I say that was due today, or that it had to be done today?" "No, sir." "Okay, then what are you still doing here? If you want to unplug your computer and take your computer home and work on something at home, I can't stop you, right? That's your choice. But I am not telling you. I am not issuing tasks." Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong. Did I ever issue a task at 16:30 or later that had to be done that day that you remember?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember. Nope.
If you're just joining us, we're here with retired Sergeant Major Jerry Heim and his counterpart that is not retired yet, Mr. Chris Rowe.
Nope.
And
he's
for everybody wondering, is I'm Doc. I was in the Army. I was a staff sergeant. So we're just talking about battalion level leadership, and we're just talking to battalion command team. So taskings, right? Like I know a little bit about taskings, right? Where this was something I was always curious on, like, hey, when does the brigade, like, hey, you got to do this? Do they ever tell you, like, hey, this needs to be done by the end of the day?
Well, they send out taskings though, man. Like, for us though, like for me and Rowe, we're like the command team, right? But and every battalion's got to have a really good staff, right? Like, don't let any sergeant major or colonel in this world tell you they did it all by themselves, because that's not the right thing, man. Like me and Chris couldn't have done anything. I mean, you could say whatever you want, either we were good or bad, but we never did any, like we could not have survived that operation, Afghanistan deployment or that whole time frame that we were together, just us, man. Like having a good staff that can like filter through all those orders that come from brigade, especially a good like ops sergeant major, right? Like I know there's only two E9s in the infantry battalion, and it's an operations sergeant major and then me, right? That's my other counterpart, but he handles all the staff, he handles all the taskings, all the stuff that comes from brigade, and he's usually that guy that's in the middle of that kind of like deflects some of that stuff from brigade. Some of it we can't, we have to do it, and it's hard being a leader, man. And Chris could tell you this. Sometimes we don't agree with it, and like we have to get in front of the boys and be like, "Hey, man, like you got to do this." And in my soul, they're all looking at you, the whole battalion, and they're just pissed off, and you're just like, "Man, damn it, I gotta step up and say something." And you got to be put in that position. But like I said in the last pod, like leadership is hard to do. It's not easy doing this stuff.
No.
But yeah, I mean, we would have guys filter through that, and like we would reclaim the stuff we could if we could, but which we could push back. But sometimes it's hard, man. Brigade's a bigger animal than our little battalion. So
yeah. No, I mean, I think what I told both of y'all, it was great for me, my last duty station, even though I didn't like it. I got to see what you guys do, and there's definitely a big picture that a lot of like. Because I'm pretty sure you guys can agree, like, with the staff sergeant below, they got to really get the soldiers in gear, right? So it's important for them to understand the bigger picture instead of just saying, well, sergeant major's making me do it, or the colonel's making me do it. And you guys haven't seen it hasn't come out yet, but the recording I did with Jack Love, I told him that I used to tell my soldiers like it came from my mouth, not y'all. And I mean, it's not. I mean, that's part of the military.
Hey, man, I love agree, that. Man. Right. So, sorry. That is something that Jerry and I 100% did. Is that once the decision came down, if it was above us, once the decision came down that hey, we need that hole dug at 2000, then we owned it, right? And it was no longer. We tried to prevent it from always turning into an us versus them or an us versus the world.
Yeah.
But if you had that ability as a staff sergeant, hey man, good on you. Okay. That is great. I will tell you, I was as guilty as anybody as a company commander multiple times over of, oh man, battalion's fucking us again. We got to go do this. Right. It wasn't until I got a little bit older that I started realizing, no, man, I got to own that. Right. Because all I'm doing is, I don't know. It's funny, right? Because what you do is you set yourself up, you set your team up to have this adversarial relationship with an element that, quite frankly, is your life support once you go to combat. You need them to want to help you. And if it always turns into we can task row and we can task time, but they're going to bitch and they're going to moan and they're going to do all this stuff, then maybe we need to go somewhere else, right? And maybe we need to put these guys on the sideline, which, sorry, that's not our personality. Jerry and I, we want to be on the front line. We don't want to be on the sideline. In order to do that, you got to be the guy. Now, we're not volunteering for tasks. Hell no. But we are going to own the task once it comes to us. And we tried to get company command teams, platoon teams on down to, once it's given to you, happy birthday. It's now yours. You own it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that as a staff sergeant, man, because I'll give a shout out to all the polar bears out there, man. Like I wasn't successful as a sergeant. I wasn't successful as a sergeant major.
No.
I don't even know if I was successful, but me and Chris, like, again, I got to give a shout out to the people that worked under us, man. Like, no, I went under us is a bad term, but worked with us, man. But, the NCOs and the officers that we had in our organization were top notch, man. And they were like, some of them you have to give a little bit push to you get a little bit of drive going, but man, they were like, they would impress me every day when I saw them working, even in deployment or back at garrison, and seeing guys like that, like you just mentioned, hey, taking those decisions and putting that stress on their own shoulders and saying, hey, I'm gonna run with the leadership here. And like we are very fortunate, man, that like have some
Yeah.
badass like people working for us, dude. Because at one, I mean, I'm probably a little biased, but we were probably the best battalion in 10th Mountain Division at the time, man. So
Yeah.
It's hard, dude, and you know, there's some things that me and Chris want for, you know, there's decisions we make that, you know, it's not popular and it's for the best of the organization. A lot of
That's
people
it.
don't agree with it, but like we have to make those hard decisions for one,
Yeah.
to take care of the guys, and two, to make sure the organization's good.
Yeah.
Plus we want to also beat the shit out of the other battalions and make sure
Right.
they're not as good as
Ooh,
us.
yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
and we did that a lot, you know, we did it a lot. So
You know, a lot of I noticed too, like, okay, I'm always like man, it's gonna be hard to say without offending anybody, but like the staff below, a lot of them take it kind of personal when y'all do some unpopular decision, right? And I mean, it's never personal, it's always business, but like it's kind of hard. I'm pretty sure you heard this a lot, Chris. Like, oh, the commander's just trying to get an OER bullet, right? And I mean, I don't really think that's always true. There's decisions that are made that you just can't help, and the communication, I think, from when it goes down to the company commanders and then down that way, I think that's where it gets misconstrued. I guess the word I'm looking for, and I think that's where like the friction becomes of the us versus them type of mentality.
No, that's I mean, we've all at least heard, if not said, the same thing. Maybe it was in jest, maybe it was for real, about an OER, NCOER bullet, right? And somebody doing it for that reason. I will tell you from my foxhole, I can relatively quickly make an assessment and be, I think, fairly spot on in that assessment of who is, hell yeah, there he is. So Mercado, who's doing it for an OER into OER bullet.
Yeah,
you can, because you do have people like that, right? It wouldn't be a saying if it didn't actually happen.
right.
Is it overused? Absolutely. It's a cop out, right? It is a cop out that you get Joe pissed off. He's like, oh man, they don't care about us. They're just doing it so they look good.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Common.
If that's what you want to think, then okay. But I can tell you at the end of the day, that's not why I did it. That's not why Jerry did it. I'm telling you, I need that whole dug at 8 o'clock because I need the whole dug at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, man, like Doc, it's like the hard too. Like I think we did our legal days on Thursday, Chris. I can't remember. Was it Thursdays?
What'd you call it?
You know, we night court. We call it night court, right? And that's when you do like your Article 15 readings and stuff. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So like
interested in this. So yeah, go ahead. Ahead.
So you do those night court things. The companies have their packets that went to legal. They got, you know, different incidents that happen down there. Young kids make mistakes, man. They make mistakes. They do dumb shit, right? I did dumb shit when I was a young Marine or paratrooper. Chris has done the same too, right? Like the thing about it for us, man, I think we tried to maintain some kind of humility in it. In the end, though, like, you know, trying to let the command teams understand it's not just blasting the person right away for something and thinking through the decision that you're going to recommend to the battalion commander. Like, hey, we don't necessarily need to like 45, you restriction. Like, you got to make sure you think through this. Like, what did this soldier do, right? Did he have already things going on? Was he had some, you know, we had some soldiers that had some issues that, you know, they just made mistakes. But like in the end, man, like we're the ones making, like the guy right below me is the one that's making that decision, right? And it's not necessarily the like decision, but for us, it's the best decision and in the organization, man, for the best of the organization. That's what we're thinking. Hey, man, does this help the organization out? What kind of thing does this set? What kind of standard does this set if we do this versus that? Like, there's a lot of hard things to like, think through, man.
I actually have a question. Can you force a company commander to like punish somebody?
No. It's against UCMJ. All I can do now, what I can do, and it trickles up in this case,
Yeah.
If I feel like Private Rowe has done something wrong, failure to obey a direct order, right? He wouldn't dig the hole at 8 o'clock or 2000 when I told him to dig the hole. And the company command team is not punishing him for whatever reason. I can pull that up to me and I can punish him at the field grade level. But I cannot look at you, first sergeant and company commander, and say, you will give this soldier company grade Article 15. That's undue command influence.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. It's not necessarily the right thing.
Hey,
a lot of you would, dude. I'm telling you, man, you would believe. I mean, me and Chris, we learned some hard lessons, dude. And we and it was really awesome. It's such a growth learning experience for me, and I'm sure Chris will say the same thing. But like, there's some teams that I don't want to shit on everybody, but there's teams that just don't know that, right? The one thing about being in this position is if you let the power grab get to you, man, and that rank grows on your chest, dude, and you think you're the king of the castle, you make some crazy decisions that don't benefit the organization and are highly illegal, right? So one thing you have to do, man, I try to stay grounded. I'm Jerry, who it is, man. That's who I am. Chris is the same thing, right? I didn't want that to change who I am, so some people just can't do that, and they end up making things that end up getting relieved. There's a lot of command teams that get relieved for some dumb shit, man. Tell you.
Hey, does that command climate survey actually work? Do you read any of it?
We read it all. We read every one of them.
We did.
But you got to understand.
But that's of the previous command, right?
No, it's
well, you just got there, right?
Okay,
no, you got to.
What you're talking about is when I first take command, within 90 days, there has to be a command climate survey.
Yeah.
Yes, I am basically reading inherited comments from the previous command team. But then again, at what is it, Jerry? Is it a half year or a year afterwards? I got to do it again.
Yeah,
something like that. Like it's like every 180 days or 270 days, something like that. You got to do another one, right? And it's like a lot of things in the military. It can be a very good thing, but you've got a lot of bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it what it is. You got a lot of bullshit comments in there of I'm only doing this because they made me, or God, I wish I could remember some of the comments, Jerry. I don't know if you do. Like, I mean, literally, writing bullshit like "twinkle twinkle little star" in there. Period. You
can't get caught, man. If you take a command climate survey and you get pissed off, like I've seen some leaders, man, they just like, I can't get over how fucked up. Like, I was like, dude, like it's the guys venting. It's the guys venting, man. And some don't know what the command climate survey is, and they'll throw everything on there. But you have to be able to identify what's the key things out of there, right? Like, is there like things that you might need to address, or is it all just BS? But as a leader, man, if you take that, and it's a good tool, don't get me wrong, but it could get people riled up, man, and it'll cause shit to roll downhill fast, right? Like, I gotta fix this right now, man. Like, they said this in the command climate survey. I'm like, whoa, like, I didn't say we're doing that, sir, Joe, Chris. I'm just saying like that. I've seen teams do that, right? But it's a good tool, man. But we take it, we read it all. I know he read every bullet. So we do.
Jerry, I don't know if you remember Mountain 6, our last Mountain 6. I'm going to keep him nameless. But our last Mountain 6, when he did his command climate survey, I actually appreciated what he did. Is that he parsed it out, right? And then he pulled different segments of the population in and addressed, hey, I saw these concerns written down, and this is what I think about them. How do you all, as a leadership segment, think we can get after these, right? And that's pretty smart, right? That's now saying, okay, Lieutenant Rowe, Sergeant Major Heim, you may not directly on paper have said this, but your command climate survey, you said training sucks. He's now turning it back around onto us and saying, okay, how do I make training not suck?
Yeah.
You know, what is it about training that sucks? Does it suck because you're doing it? Does it suck because you're not doing it good? And so I really appreciated that.
No, yeah, I agree. And I hate when those general comments like this unit sucks or the training sucks. Like, dude, a lot of training suck. Like, I mean, there's no way to get around it. You know,
it wasn't fun.
I'm like, dude, nobody wants to go to NTC. Like, nobody wants to nobody wants to go to the 45-day. Like, I remember at Fort Bliss, we had Iron Focus. I felt like that was like 40 days long. And then we went to NTC. I'm like, nobody wants to do it.
Nobody wants to go to Fort Drum in the middle of a blizzard and train for 3 weeks.
We were in the field, bro. Like,
God,
what was it, 10 days? 10 days? I think we were in 10 days, man. And it was like Snowmageddon. And the boys were like they're out with like heavy ass rucks, like walking through snow, like fucking hunkering down in like wherever, bro. It was like I hated it.
I knew it.
Fucking thing.
I knew it was bad. I knew it was bad when I went to check out Alpha Company and First Sergeant Sand. Remember, Jerry, I was telling you that?
Yeah.
And so First Sergeant Sand, God, he was a great first sergeant. Shorter guy. Had his ruck was at least half his size in both height and weight. And I mean, it was a huge ruck. And it had been snowing and snowing and snowing. And they're like, the next day, I think it was, they're like, all right, hey, we're going to try to get after this. And so I went to check on Alpha Company, which wasn't too far away from us, just to see how they're going. He steps out of the building that he had been sleeping in that night and fell over, and I literally lost him in the snow. Just completely lost him in the snow. And at that point, I was like, oh, okay, what the fuck are we doing here?
Right.
Doc, that was Chris, you could do this. You could say, I know we talked about this, but like that was a hard lesson learned for me, man, because you know, being a sergeant major and being a commander, like you own like everything like the battalion does. It sits in the back of your head, right? And if it's bad, it just sits. It still resonates with me about that, man, because load management in the Army is one of the hardest things to do, right? Like learning how to pack your ruck. And I was still fighting through that, and the guys were carrying so much fucking weight, and I owned that. I was like, man, that was all, dude. We should have looked at the package or something. Like they shouldn't have been carrying this much weight. It sat on me so long. Like poor guy, man. They were just roaming through this 3 feet of snow with like heavy ass rucks, man. And I own that, dude. That was all you pull those out. I think that I just was my fault, I guess. I learned a lot of lessons from that as a leader. Like, man, like we got to utilize our FSC more. We need to utilize everybody else. We can't let these infantry guys roam around with these heavy ass rucks and in the snow. So, you know, and on the command team level, man, there's a lot of things that we take home at night that like I think about. I know Chris will say this. We'll go home and I'll be sleeping in bed. I'm thinking about it, man. Should I did that? Or like, what the hell? Like, it's just stuff that you just in your head just constantly, you know, things you're thinking about, because in the end, the guys are looking at you guys. If you made those decisions, and I'm like, man, was that the right call? Like I start second guessing myself, and luckily I had a great team and we survived, but there's a lot of hard lessons learned in training, man.
All right. So I don't know if you guys, probably Jerry can because he's out, but can you give me a wild weekend story that happened when you guys were together? Like from like whatever happened in the companies, like I want to know.
So I tell you one of the things that really pisses me off today, and you guys are out there. I think it was 2-2. I don't know who it was, but we have this polar bear in front of our battalion, right?
Like an actual polar bear?
Like an actual polar bear.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
And it's been there for, I don't know, Chris. I don't know how long. We finally tried to get it fixed, and I got a call on the weekend. And somebody fucking spray painted, George is what his name is. His name is George. Put like a dick on him and all these other things. And
damn, son.
Dude, it was bad, man. Our staff, dude, he was right. It was just a whole thing. But I know Chris will talk about this, but it ended, and I think it ended up starting some kind of like war, like at the lower level. Like I don't know. what the boys down there were taking care of business with, but me and Chris could feel it, man, because we started having different incidents around the battalion. I'm like, what the? Some windows got smashed in the parking lot, right? Like,
Damn.
you know, there was some shit going on at their barracks. I'm like, I look at Chris. I'm like, dude, I think
So
there's a war going on. So I can't prove that
Yeah.
there was, but I just felt like it there was. So
the
was
story that I was
told.
told, and actually, Mercado, you're on the net, so feel free to jump in on the chat group because you were in Delta Company. The rumor is that somebody from our Delta Company was dating one of the female infantry soldiers in one of the other battalions. And the other male infantry soldiers did not like that a polar bear was dating I won't call the unit out, but it was a golden dragon. There you go.
Exactly. I can see that.
Yeah. But no. So there's been a history of beef for whatever reason between 214 infantry and 431. Just it is. But they didn't like that, and so some things happened. Words were said, and supposedly nothing was ever done about it or said outside of rumors that our guys may have gone over there and essentially ripped a water fountain off of one of their walls inside the barracks.
All tactical. They were all tactical doing it.
I love it.
It was secret missions.
I mean, I wouldn't like the recall at 4 a.m., but I love it,
bro. I mean, we had a sense that it was going on, and you guys out there, the polar bears out there, probably know what's going on. But I just felt it. But I ain't gonna lie, I did feel a sense of pride. Like I was like, dude, I can't say it, but the boys sticking up for. Those guys coming to footprint and sticking up for each other just makes you proud. At the time, I'm like, man, who the fuck, who's going on? Like, but like in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I'm glad that they're doing that kind of shit. As long as nobody's getting killed or hurt, right? But that was the typical. That was one of the weekends that we had. We had a lot of we didn't have a lot of DUIs, but we had a lot of drunken stuff happening.
Probably some DV stuff.
Yeah, I mean. What was some of the wild things, Chris? In my mind, what was some of the things you remember?
So one of the crazier ones that I remember, this was unfortunate that it made it this far, right? But it was a DUI one where the NCO was tasked to go down to Syracuse to pick somebody up, I think, right? And so he had the private driver in the van. I don't know if you remember this one, Jerry. And when they get down to Syracuse, they go to a bar, and not only is the driver underage, but the sergeant's basically plying him with liquor and beer, saying, no, drink, and then makes him drive back. And so on the way back from Syracuse, now this junior enlisted guy with the NCO who's also hammered next to him gets pulled over, gets a ticket for a DUI, and now neither one of them can drive. Yeah, and he's underage.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with that? Like saying like he forced me to do it. I mean, like how do you deal with that?
There's investigation and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got to do like investigation, and there's assign like a action officer or something to go through it, and if it's valid for an Article 15, some extra duty, then we put him up in night court. But I mean, like the barracks though in the infantry is wild too.
Dude,
like it's some wild time. Like we had guys. I remember one guy threw a weight through I think one of our vending machines. Drunken parties.
Hey, they used to crap in the washers all the time.
Yeah. Oh, dude. The washer and dryer. Let me tell you something. The washer. Our division sergeant major, right? I won't say his name, but he was roaming around our laundry rooms all the time, like all across the brigade footprint, man. And he would take like some random Instagram video in the like washer and dryer. Nobody knows he's there, and there's like folded clothes everywhere, and like we're like shit, like sergeant, where's he at? All the sergeant major's talking like, where the hell's he at? And he's oh shit, he's in mine. Like we're like, oh fuck, like he's on our footprint inside the washing washing machine area, which was always like, as a sergeant major, man, I hate to walk by the thing. I'm not looking in there right now, bro. Like, there's probably some dirty underwear sitting on the floor, socks everywhere, like beat up laundry machines because people put their boots and their helmets in there to dry shit. Like, it's nuts, man. But like, I think our guys did a really good job of it. Of course, we had, party all you want, man. Have fun, man. But I think they did a really good job. But I didn't have a lot of big incidents in the barracks, man. But
you have who comes up with that stuff, like the barracks inspection? Like, is it the sergeant major or the commander?
I do.
Both
I gotta keep some kind of discipline in there. Like, I gotta.
I get it. Yeah, I was just wondering who came down with it. Like,
I do, man. And the first sergeants work on it to make sure like the CQ's doing what they got to do at each floor or the barracks, and try to maintain some sanity. That there's someone in the barracks that's confident enough to put someone to bed or. And, the Polar Bears did a good job, man. It was hard. It was hard because when we were there, the barracks ended up being the focus for a while, and they needed to, man, because the barracks weren't as good as they needed to be. And I think that sergeant major did a really good job at making sure shit gets fixed and getting done. But trying to get stuff fixed and trying to force standards in the barracks it's hard. There's some like politics involved with like working with base civilians to try to get like a water fountain replaced in the barracks. It's like a lot of necessarily BS, but I mean it's crazy, dude. When extra duty's walking around too, you gotta be cautious because they're roaming around. You gotta watch those guys, get extra eyes on those guys. But yeah, man, it's a good time, and we've had some ups and downs too, man. Like, dealing with different incidents too, because that would affect the organization. I'll bring up one. Chris can probably jump. I'm sorry to cut you off, by the way, Chris, but we had this guy named Staff Sergeant Green, right?
I'm calling him out.
And no, I'm not calling him out at all. Like,
good dude. Okay,
good dude.
Okay,
but
Angel Green.
This is one of the hardest things in my career, man. It's like he was a fucking stud, dude. He was awesome. Boys loved him, man. Afghanistan vet, just loved the guy, man. And we kept back from deployment, and he like killed himself, right? He really he had an issue, or I don't know, something. Yeah. I won't get into the details about that, but the thing about that, man, is like we had to fight through that months and months after, dude.
Yeah.
Like it was something that as a command team, it was a struggle to do, man. Like trying to keep everybody up, motivated and keep their eyes up. But the guy was so tight. And I'm just bringing that up because that was one of the hardest times I think that we had to deal with in our battalion, man, when Staff Sergeant Green did that. So he was such a good dude.
Like, I know there's been moments in the Army's history of like, I'll bring it up because we're on the topic, but like a lot of suicides and stuff like that. Is there like a protocol like the command team has, like, hey, this guy kills himself, like, hey, we're going to call this person, or is there something already outlined or what?
Yes. There's a battle drill or a policy letter, if you will, of, immediate notification, this, and this.
Yeah.
And then at that point, the machine takes over,
like the MFLAG people and all that too, right?
Yes,
everybody's notified.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there'll be a notification officer that does all that stuff too, and he does that, and we will usually like set up like, you can go into whether we need to do ceremonies or not, because I know that's a hot topic sometimes in regards to suicide, but we always did it, and we had to set up a ceremony for that, because it's still, family comes, it's still something that like we needed to do. Not that we have to do, but we needed to do. So we still did those. It was hard, man, but that just like I said, leadership's hard, man, and there's some things you just got to work through that are complicated. So
if I can real quick, because you brought up Angel, I didn't know you were going to bring up Angel. So Staff Sergeant Angel Green, phenomenal young NCO. When we were coming back from Afghanistan, he was part of the Delta platoon that was still there in Afghanistan with me the whole time. And so I remember we're flying back now. We finally get out of fucking Kuwait after being there for what felt like months. And we fly into Germany, which is one of the normal stops there at Frankfurt Hahn. It's supposed to be a short stop, whatever. Ends up like they had, I think, either malfunctions with the airplane or they couldn't get the next flight crew in, something, where ultimately they ended up having to send us out to Frankfurt to get dinner and then put us up in a hotel and got us back like early in the morning. And so we're coming back, the next morning, and I'm not kidding if I say we maybe slept an hour, because not only did all of that stuff happen, the German restaurant they took us to, one of the guys had called him, knew the owner. He opened the restaurant late. It was already closed. They fed all of us for free and plied all of us with all of the apple wine that we wanted. Right. And so, I mean, it was probably one of the most cathartic events I've ever been a part of, coming off a deployment, where everybody is just kind of in good spirits. We're finally kind of calming down, whatever. But the next morning, like I said, we slept maybe an hour, if that. And we're on the bus back to the airport, and it's about a 30-45 minute bus drive. Just so happens that Angel is sitting in the seat in front of me. And Angel liked to talk. He really liked to talk, and he liked to talk shit too. But this particular time, he was just bullshitting with me. He's like, "Sir," I'm like, "What's up, Angel?" And at this point, I just want to be left alone. I'm tired. Maybe have a little bit of a hangover, not much, but maybe just a little bit. And I'm like, "What's up, man? What you got?" And he starts talking to me about his future and his career. I'm like, "Okay, let me put my hat on. Okay, we're getting serious here. All right, what's up, Angel?" It's like, "Sir, I'm gonna be our brigade was called the Commando Brigade. So like I'm gonna be Commando 6 one day, or sorry, Commando 7. I'm gonna be the Sergeant Major one day." I'm like, "What?" Well, yeah, I want to be Commando 7 one day. I'm like, "Okay, fuck yeah. Let's do this." And so we spent like 30-40 minutes. Yeah, and we spent like the next 30-40 minutes talking about all the different steps between being Staff Sergeant Angel Green to being Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Angel Green. And it was a great conversation. It was absolutely one of the highlights. I think I mentioned this to you before. That's one of the things that I love the most about being in the Army, is when somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, sir, I want some career advice. I'm thinking about doing this." I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's sit down and talk. How can I help you?" And so I'm thinking we're good, man. Like we're golden. And then what was it, like 10 to 14 days after we got back? I'm sitting on a hillside in downtown Watertown watching Harry Potter with my family. Open air thing. They were playing it up on some big screen. We took the kids there, me and my wife. And I get a phone call, and I'm just shell shocked. I mean, I broke down in tears because I was like, "What? What? No, you're fucking lying. No." And as much as that affected me, and as much as that affected Jerry, magnify that probably by 100 times on his soldiers and the rest of that company and Delta Company and Charlie Company, because he was with Charlie Company for almost a month there. It was throughout the entire battalion. I mean, we had some shattered, we had some shattered people. And that sucked. That is still to this day one of the hardest things I ever had to do in the Army, is try to help them.
Yeah, he was a great guy, man. Yeah. That's one of the things that being in this position, dude. It's not, one, you're not really liked. Two, you have to deal with the hard stuff. But we did, right? And that was one of the moments that will live with me forever, man. Just thinking through that. I mean, there's like 4 different things from that whole thing that I think about, right? And here's another funny one. We'll shift a little bit to the funny part. And I know Chris I'm gonna throw some shade out there to the Instagram stuff, right? So we went through the social media phase, right? So this was at Instagram.
Fucking real Polar Bear 6 can die.
Yeah. So like these Instagram things started coming up for each battalion. So each battalion had like a specific Instagram page, and it was just memes after memes after memes. I was on there all the fucking time. Sometimes I didn't even know. Like I got sick one time, and I was in ICU, and I had like pancreatitis, man, and I was out for a while. I lost a lot. My only thing that I wanted was focus on was getting. I almost died, man. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was Chris.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at that, but yeah.
No. But like, I did everything I can to be on that bird to fly to Afghanistan with these guys, right? And but we had a field training on, went to Afghanistan, came back. I still wasn't 100%, right? And we did a field training, right? And I came back from the field. I turned my weapon and my nods to staff duty, right? And the next, I went to my appointment. So I had to go to an appointment because I had to get checked out. And then I come back the next morning. I go to CQ, and I'm like, hey, where's my weapon and my nods, man? Like, they're like, I was like, dude, where's my weapon and my nods? And they're like, oh, I think your driver came by and grabbed them. And I'm like, oh, okay. I got to call him like a driver. I hate having a driver. I had some good kids, but it was just weird. But like I get back and I open up. We have these real pull receipt. And there's a meme of me like saying I wanted to do a recall of the battalion and I lost my nods. And like there's a dude golfing and losing his golf. I don't know what the hell it was, man, but it was like, I was like, duh, and I started in my mind, I'm like, who are these? Where's the ringleaders? Like, and he was like, who's this real Polar Bear 6 guy? And it was in the battalion.
Is that what it was called? The real Polar Bear?
It was called Real Polar. It's still up, by the way. It's still up there. But like, I'll being the brunt of that's fine. It is what it is. But it was just dealing with social media, man. Like we never dealt with that before, and trying to figure out how to like navigate it. And at the end of the point, you're like, hey man, you're gonna be on a meme no matter what, dude. Like nobody in the battalion's ever gonna like who you are. Well, you can't make everybody happy, but I just bring that up because traditionally you don't want to bet. It was just a funny moment for me, man. It's just like, it is what it is. But the boys, they enlighten, they throw there was some stuff on there. I was like, it's hilarious, right? So They threw some blows on there. It was good. Yeah. It used to be like back in our day. You knew you made it or you knew you had fucked up when you were on U.S. Army What the Fuck, right? Yeah.
That completely morphed while we were in command to that Army WTF. That's nothing. Go check out Real Polar Bear 6 and some of those other places where you're just like, oh my God. They are just absolutely roasting people.
He's gonna get a lot of followers. I don't even think he's active anymore.
I some of it was hilarious.
Yeah, so, I'm on there a bit. I'm on there quite a bit. So.
As long as they don't like leak any like classified or
it's all
sensitive information. Yeah, I think it's good.
It's actually really funny. At the time, I'm like, what the like I'm pissed off, but. I'm like, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good, even though it's not accurate at all. Like, but it's good. It was good, man, because they could vent, and there's no other ways besides using an open door policy or something. But like that was their way to vent, man. And at the time, the division sergeant major and them, they had their eyes on all the pages. So it was the way. Did I prefer that method? I prefer them. I know what Crystal says. I prefer them just come talk to us about issues, man. And sometimes guys they're just feel uncomfortable about doing that, and there's way for soldiers to kind of throw out there, express themselves, and it's perfectly fine, man. So it's just something you got to get used to, man. You got to go in this job with thick skin, bro, because if you're one of those guys that takes everything for what it is, dude, you're not gonna last very long because it is what it is, man. It's part of the job.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I actually want to ask a question about something. I never feel like it gets a traction or something. It's kind of not like it is battalion stuff, but it's not really related to soldiering. Like the FRG. How do you like pick that direction of it going? I guess you could say. I saw the little laugh in there. So.
You want me to take this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm genuinely curious because like I always felt like it was kind of forced. And then yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it at that part. We'll just feel like it was kind of forced,
So, like a lot of things in the military.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be serious here for a minute. Like a lot of things in the military, it was born out of a good idea, right? How do we keep families informed when the three of us fuckers are over in Afghanistan or Iraq doing God's work, right? And when it was and is used for that purpose, it's good. What we saw sometimes is it literally turned into, hey, I need somebody to come cut my lawn. Hey, I need somebody to come babysit, and not because your husband's deployed or whatever. Your husband's at work right now. You just want somebody to come cut your lawn for you.
Wow.
Right.
It really turned into that.
There were some instances of that. Now, not in 431 that I know of, but in some of the others, right? Spouses talk just like me and Jerry talk, and so just like you asked us in the beginning, hey, did you ever hear about company command teams getting in trouble or battalion command teams getting in trouble? We hear stuff too, right, about things like that. And so when it turned into that, it starts to get nasty.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, at this point in time, what we also deal with or dealt with anyways, is that a lot of the family members just don't even want to be on there. They want to receive their contact, or they want to receive their information through social media. So they won't give you a phone number. They won't give you an email address. All they'll give you is, hey, what's your Facebook page? Okay, well, here's our Facebook page. Okay, great. I'll check the Facebook page for updates.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Army just put out a policy too. I think, Chris, I don't know if you're tracking, but they got rid of all the unit pages and stuff.
Really?
But yeah, man, it was hard to
what the fuck?
Doc, it was hard, man, because we did some time in
all
COVID
official.
too, so.
Official. They're getting rid of all official Facebook pages.
Facebook, yeah.
Man, that's kind of. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah, they're trying to
shit talking. Maybe I don't know.
Misinform. I don't know. But we also, Chris and I's time was through COVID too, so like you couldn't get everybody together, man, and like you tried your best to like put information out and do things through the FRG to try to get it. All kind of things, man. That was hard too. That was a hard time for us trying to lead through COVID. But yeah, I mean, it's never easy, dude, because there's families that are different. There's actually good families or good spouses out there that want to be part of it and really care. And then there's some that just aren't. So they just don't ever want to step foot in battalion. And it's something that you gotta figure out how to get information to those people, right? So
right. I think people are they're not social anymore, even though we're born social creatures. I think they just want to have everything to click. So and it's probably more comfortable too. It's not as intimidating talking to somebody else that has more information than you. There's a lot of things there too. But yeah, it's just weird.
It's also there's a lot of young people too, man. There's a lot of young people that are in a battalion. They're married young and they don't really know like how to approach things, and probably never been in that. And they listen to some other people that just talk shit about the battalion, and it just spreads a little bit. But you got to control it, man. And I think Chris did a good job at it, like trying to, kind of minimize some of that and get the information that we can out to everybody. Is it perfect? No. Did we do a lot of delegating down to the companies to like kind of take care of that? The company commanders to kind of like run their own programs and do what they got to do. And some did really good. Some did better than others, and really had really good methods of getting information out to their team, right? So because our FRG meeting we didn't have. It was more companies than I think we did a lot of battalion ones. I don't remember, but
I mean, you guys show up though, right? Probably.
Yeah.
To the company shit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's hard to do that, man, because that's their event. You don't want to jump into their. I mean, it's good to like. I think Colonel Rowe did it. He walked around, like show your face, and you don't want to stay there and take over the event because that's their event, right? But yeah, you can. I mean, it is hard though. FRG's hard. It's a hard program.
I'll tell you one thing, man. When I got out and my wife was still in, I wanted to be the leader of the FRG, but it didn't happen. I think
Really?
I think I could have done something. Look at this. I
Oh
could have
yeah. Without the beard though.
No, I would have
Did you have a beard in the Army?
No, I'm talking about when I got out of the Army.
Oh, God.
Yeah, when I got out of the Army, my wife was still in. And
Yeah.
I was like, I told her, I was like, yeah, you know, I should be the leader of the FRG, man. I think I
Yeah,
could do this. I could do this podcast.
I think you would have done phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. Someone has
Hell
to
yeah.
be around here. Yeah.
I think you would have done great.
Hey, thank you.
You just have to knock out all the negative comments that show up in your comment section.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Something that you said there were like, I forgot what you said exactly, but like try to make people happy, right? And then you got to do right by the mission. But like some people are just not going to be happy at all. It doesn't matter. And I think somebody commented about like what soldiers aren't. What did you say? Like soldiers aren't going to be the moral high ground or something like that. Jerry, you said that earlier.
Soldiers aren't what?
Something about like soldiers are not. Man, you commented on somebody's post about it, and I said you were going to stir the pot.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Are we gonna bring? We want to bring that.
Oh, not all veterans are good people either, which is true, and you can bring that up. It's fine. Yeah. It's true. I mean, this is what I like. People are like, "Oh, well, they were in the military." I'm like, "Dude, you should see the turds that come through, and they're it's literally another human population just with a uniform on. That's all it is."
So it's one of the hardest things to do because we would do retention briefs, right? Like we would pull all the soldiers in and try to like. You know, the ones that were in their window to re-enlist. And, you know, we would pull them in and like ask them like, hey, what do you got? And everyone would be like, hey, I'm going to go to college. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to go be a cop. Like, I'll do what you guys want to be cops. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's awesome. But like, it just, and then, you know, the ones that just definitely need to go. And there's ones that you try to talk to, you know, to try to stay in. You can only persuade them so much. Right. And, but it's just like sitting there trying to say, hey man, like think about it, you know, don't get out if you don't have a plan, because that's my story, man. In the podcast I did with you, when I got out as a Marine, like I was an E4 Mafia kid and I got out and I didn't think about it. Right. And I got out and was rushed and I ended up coming back in. But like sitting there as a CSM or the commander, trying to like talk these guys like, hey man, stay around. You know, look at the retention, look at the bonuses, and sometimes bonuses were shit, and they didn't want to stay around. But some go out there and they do them. Like some soldiers that you see, you know, you never thought that they probably weren't the best soldiers in the Army, but they go out in the civilian world and they do awesome, right? Yeah. So it is what it is on things, man. But like, you know, talking to soldiers about re-enlistments is pretty hard, dude. Like he's just like, come on, dude, like, stay in. And it's not about numbers.
Real quick,
about numbers.
So, hey, Jerry, are you friends with Braun on Facebook?
Yeah.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw his post. I think he was reposting something.
I think that's what we were talking about.
He's a soldier of a former soldier of ours. Great kid.
Ranger.
He what was it? He was talking about either A, they should, or B, that somebody is possibly looking at it. I can't remember, so don't quote me on this, world. But tying re-enlistment bonuses to current performance levels.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's like
Did you?
If you're like a good like PT score or some stuff like that, then you can get like certain re-enlistment bonuses.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean,
I'm kind of
theory,
that one.
It's tough.
In theory, I like it because it's tied to performance, right? You can still re-enlist. You're just not going to get the max bonus, right? Yeah. So if you want the max bonus, you got to show that you deserve the max bonus. Now that's also, I mean, that opens a bigger can of worms in the military of, are we meeting our retention numbers? Can we afford to do that fiscally and, you know, with just numbers? I don't know. But I mean, in theory, think about it, man. You get the best of the best to stay in. Yeah, why not?
No, I agree. It just, you know.
Yeah, I have it right here. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen share.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't. I mean, you know, like there's a big high percentage of high performers, right, in a platoon, but like a lot of your good guys they're just average dudes, right? And they're like, I don't necessarily think like punish those guys,
yeah.
right? I don't know. I agree with the performance part, but I don't know.
But
If you don't,
it's
if you have
tough.
some negative shit, then sure. But
It's tough.
is it still a punishment if, you know, so Heim in this example, Heim's my high performer, right? Heim's a stud. He's an E4. He's already Ranger
Can y'all see the screen?
qualified.
yep.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So high performers up to 40,000. Okay, great. So in this scenario, Heim, you get 40,000 if you re-enlist. Rowe, he's good. We want him to stay in. He's got potential to be an NCO, whatever. But he's not killing it, we'll say. So maybe it's a tiered system where, yeah, there you go. The program utilizes tiers 1 to 10 with higher tiers offering larger payouts.
Yeah.
So
okay.
maybe I'm a tier
sense.
2, tier 3, and just to keep the math simple, I know they said 40,000, but you know I am infantry, so I'm going to keep the math simple. If you get a 10, you get $10. If you get a 3, you get $3. Maybe I only get $3 for re-enlisting, but I still get something, right? It's not like I'm not getting anything. It's just that I'm not getting 10 because my evaluations and or my school's PT doesn't rate in the top 10 percentile.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good.
How would they determine technical though?
Oh yeah, I think I already said I'm in the infantry, so you got to keep it simple for me.
What was that form? There's like I remember when I used to do like CLS training, and man, there was this form I used to use to like have like a checklist. Man, I forgot what the name of that form is, dude. But I don't know if that would be the thing. Like, hey, show me how you can do, because it can't be like, hey, you win a couple. I'm not saying soldier because I won soldier of the quarter, but I'm saying like it can't be like you just win a couple soldier of the month boards, and are you technically good? Does that make sense?
It'll be interesting too, man, because
the
lower list of guys, the E4s and below, don't have NCOERs or ratings or anything. Like, how do they kind of tier that? And how is there like guys? I've been out of the Army for a little bit. I don't know too much.
You're telling me I've been out since 2020.
But like, I don't know how that would work. You gotta study 3 or 4, maybe he's Ranger qualified, or you got to study that's not Ranger qualified, right? And he's just doing awesome. How do you gauge that? Like, how do they gauge that? How does your retention NCO look at that and say, hey, you're qualified for this? Because NCOs are easy.
Go to counseling statements.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, again, we're kind of opening a bigger can of worms here because you and I have had this discussion several times.
Ooh.
One of the things that the Army sucks at the most is counseling in a proper manner and timely.
It's 100%. Yeah.
Boy, here we go.
So, but if you tie it to that, maybe you start getting better counseling. I don't know.
Or it's a memo from a leader or a company commander, saying, like, what is this? I can't really, a new policy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it rolls out in March. Sorry, I'm still reading. I'm slow. I'd say EIB, ESB, technically and tactically proficient. I'd agree with that. That's something common to all. You get to test for that.
I'm a big fan of EIB, ESB, man. I'm a big fan. I think each soldier should.
Yeah. Good call, Hamilton.
He's a first sergeant, first team leader. That's my first team leader. That's my boy.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. It just, yeah. And then, how do you sway some of these good performers too, right? That's like when you go back to the counseling piece, Chris, and I totally agree that we're not very good at it, right? Nobody likes to sit down and talk about someone else, and put it on paper, right?
Yeah.
But, like how do we persuade? I mean, that looks great. Don't get me wrong, man. I hope that comes through because that's something we need in the Army. But like, how do you persuade those high performers, right? That are, or EIB, Ranger, whatever, because they've got other opportunities, right? How do you, as a leader, engage them? Like, hey, man, stay around, dude. Like, you get a bonus, you this tier or whatever, like. And that's always been a hard thing for us in any leader in their world, because you see a guy, man, you're just like, this guy's going to sell, right? So, like, the conversation and just talking to your soldiers is critical. I think I've always been a one-on-one guy talking to people. I know counseling's great. You should always be proficient at it and should always find a way to get better at that because you have to. But like, just how do you persuade those guys, right? How do you persuade a kid that there's some they're like, I'm going to be the next sergeant major of the Army, and you don't have to worry about any of that, right? They're gonna go, they're just going to go, right? And there's going to be guys like me that never thought I'd make E9, right? But just hard conversations and talking to them, and how do you approach them? And because the civilian world, there's a lot of opportunity, man. I've been out here for a while now, and you can go into the discussion that we had, Doc, about that post that we saw on Facebook versus like, are there our military veterans good on the outside world? Some are great, some are awesome, some struggle. Like I struggle with it too, and I was a sergeant major, and I was just fortunate enough to find a position that it's been fitting for me. But it's like, dude, it's good, man. It's good or bad. They're going to learn the hard way. They're going to want to come back in, or they're going to want to keep excelling. So
yeah, I think we talked about. Remember, I was like, man, I thought about going back in. You're like, nah, don't do it, dude. But
I mean, you can talk shit all you want about the Army and the military, bro. But like in the end, there's good things and there's bad things. But Army was good for I think all of us. It instilled some sort of discipline or gave us some work ethic, and I'm proud of that. Everybody should be, even if you served 3 to 4 to 20 to 30, man, you should be proud of that.
Yeah, I think honestly, it is not easy. It took me. I had 112 days of terminal leave, and I still couldn't find. It came down to the last day to get my job. So if people, it's hard to like. I kept applying on USA Jobs, and they kept saying I was still in, even though I had a commander's letter and everything like that. It was just not going for it. And I think, like you said, I don't remember any of the bad times. I mean, I do. I remember like mopping the drill pad of bird shit and stuff like that. But but like I don't. It was good for me, man. I don't regret it at all. Like I don't.
No, you shouldn't. You should never regret your service.
It was a good time, man. It was good.
Bro, like Chris about to find out here soon. He's about to come out into the swamp. Right.
Okay, so thanks for pulling me into this conversation, gentlemen, because I in fact need a job as of summer of 27. So if you know of anybody that's hiring, please throw me a bone.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Get that education, man, and be flexible, man. You might not necessarily get the job you want initially, man. I got guys that work with me, man. It's they're ex-sergeant majors, dude, like AWG, special forces dudes. Yeah. And they've been through 3 or 4 jobs, and they're finally sitting down. So like, don't be kind of, butthurt that you have to do multiple things, but you'll eventually find your way, man.
Yeah.
You'll eventually find your way.
I mean, civilian life is inevitable, right? Like whether you do 4 years, like you said, 2 years, or you do your 20, right? It's inevitable. Like you can't stay. Like, it's just like how Jerry referred me to Mr. Jack Love, which I'm finishing up this weekend. But I mean, he did 40 years and eventually had to come to an end. It's just
I'm surprised he retired. I'm surprised he retired. Hey, probably still, if he's watching this, I'm surprised he's still. He'd probably go until they'd have to force him out.
No, he's out next month officially. Yeah.
Great guy. That's going to be an awesome pod when he comes on, man.
Shit, it's like 4 hours, dude. So.
Taylor, you're too kind. I appreciate it. You're in Hawaii. Go to bed. Isn't it bedtime, Taylor? Come on.
What? No, it's only like 4 o'clock over there, I think. Right, 4:30 o'clock.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I look back.
Infantry.
Yeah.
I was just saying, again, infantry, so I don't know.
Hey, I'm telling you, though, like, I hate bringing it up, man, but the world of the aviation world compared to the infantry world, it really sucked. Even though it was easy, the camaraderie just was never there.
Bro. So I was a CSM in Honduras, right? Down in Central America, called Sadocano or something like that. And there was an aviation battalion there. And it was like the only aviation battalion in Central America. Bro, they had their own bar.
Yeah,
Like,
it's easy.
Everybody wore Hawaiian shirts all the time. I'm like, dude, what kind of lifestyle is this? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I got an invite you had to get an invite to go to this bar.
Yeah.
And like, I got the invite, and I was like, this is some secret society bullshit. Like, I'm drinking some beer, standing on top of like some kind of wooden, I don't know what was going on, but yeah, it's a different lifestyle than what me and Chris are used to, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, looking back on our time, Chris, I think I couldn't be more proud of how it went, how it ended, right? Obviously, but it was a great time, and I'm so like, every one of those guys out there. I'm so proud to see them. I see them on Facebook, like thinking about getting into politics and doing things for not NGOs and things like that, and it makes you like on the outside looking in and seeing these guys be successful, and old First Sergeant Hurd out there doing things like you just see it, man. It makes you proud that at least not that they were like in your battalion and worked for you or whatever, but that you just had the ability to like know who they are and had that one time in life that you could actually engage them and talk to them and know them, right? So it was awesome, man. It was an awesome time. Like, that was probably one of the best times of my career, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Hey, before we keep going, Chris, can you give a little bit about yourself? I have a text message asking if your name is really Polar Bear. No, I'm just joking. They're like, who is Polar Bear 6? I was like, I'll let him talk about it a little bit right here. Go ahead. Just a little bit of who you are.
Yeah. So I am actually Christopher Polar Bear 6 Rowe.
Exactly.
That is my God-given name.
Yep.
Okay. So for anybody just catching up, yes, every unit is assigned some name as a call sign. So we talked a little bit earlier about 214 Infantry, one of our sister battalions there at Fort Drum. They were the Golden Dragons. So you've got that. So everybody in the battalion is a polar bear that worked for Jerry and I, or worked with Jerry and I. Inside of that, now you've got the alphanumeric of the 6, right, for me. So every commander at every echelon is a 6. It's just written in SOP and policy across the Army that if you are a commander, your number is 6. As far as my sergeant major, right? And so I've actually seen that change at the company level sometimes, that the senior NCO is not a 7. I've seen it be an 8 or a 9. I didn't like it. I changed it.
I think in the 82nd they go by 9. I might be wrong, but
no, it's an airborne thing. It was in the 173rd. And so I didn't like it. I changed it. Like I said, he became chosen 7. I was like, I'm in the infantry. Don't fuck me up. Okay, 6 means 6, 7 means 7. What are you doing here?
6, 7.
But yeah, no. So for me,
7.
again, 6, 7. I don't know. My son did that to me. I was telling him about this podcast. I was like, yeah, it's a safety brief with Polar Bear 6, 7. He's like, 6, 7. I'm like, dude, I will strangle you right now.
No, but Chris, were you ever like in Alaska or anything like that? I can't remember. Sorry, his episode's coming out next week, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No Alaska time. For me, real briefly, Korea, Fort Lewis, Fort Benning, obviously, Italy with 173rd, 2CR Germany. I was in the Old Guard twice in DC. 10th Mountain Division, obviously, back over to Germany. I think that's it.
Actually, I have to put this out. Chris Rowe, actually, Hamilton, since I know you're watching, First Sergeant Hamilton, my boy, top. He knows Garza. Remember we talked about Garza?
Yes.
Yeah, he knows Garza, and that they were best friends. Hamilton and Garza, they were best friends.
Oh no shit. Okay.
Yeah. Nice. He's still oh, man, don't quote me. I think he's like brigade first sergeant and Fort Polk or something like that. I don't know what he does exactly.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice.
Chris, most of our guys that we are probably all first type. I know Sam's a sergeant major now. Like everybody's looking back at all those guys, man, they're all growing up in ranks.
Look at
So
you
that's
guys,
crazy.
man. It's like that
Some have
Ninja
gotten
Turtle
out.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we developed a bond, man. We
Yeah,
developed a
dude.
bond. It's
Yeah, it's
pretty
like
cool being tight. with
you know
Chris.
that picture with Master Splinter, and then you got like the turtles. That's
Yeah.
y'all right there, and then you have like the guys going up, dude. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was fun times.
Oh, there he is, right here. Yes, Brigade 8, whatever.
Brigade HHC First Sergeant, nice.
Yeah.
Ops group, nice.
Yeah. Okay,
Nice.
so I have a question. I used to see this a lot, actually. So when soldiers do staff duty, right? How do you pick the time on when they're going to report and not report, or just report? Because I know sometimes they would be like, "Oh, we got to make them go to PT in the morning, so that's why we're gonna do it later or something like that."
Yeah, I wasn't.
I've seen it
for the
before.
PT thing. Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I think we did 09 to 09. I think Chris is what we did for
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
reasonable.
it was, just didn't ask you to do any reporting. I don't think. Just show up straight to staff duty. Off, obviously your name's selected off the DA6 through your company first sergeant or whatever. We just task
Yeah.
you with that duty day for that company. But yeah, I mean, there's different things. I mean, some people like 06 to 06 because they get done quicker or whatever. Some people like 09 to 09 to get sleep in a little bit or whatever. I don't know. But we did 09 to 09, I think, if
Yeah.
I'm correct. I think that's what we did. Yeah.
Well, okay, actually, this is a good question for both of you guys, and this is not particularly to polar bear, but so I guess it could be, but I mean, I don't really know the history of what it was like when you guys were there. How would you guys deal, like, as a command team with like a troubled commander or a first sergeant?
Sorry,
yeah.
you're talking about one that's in trouble.
No, like
trouble?
no, he's just a dickhead or something. Like, he's not getting with the program, always creating waves, just not listening. I'm kind of curious, like, how they get disciplined, I guess you could say, or corrective action, I guess is the right word people want to say.
I don't know, Jerry. I never had one.
Yeah, right. No, man. It to me as a sergeant major, sometimes like for us, like I'm like I have to be the pulse of the organization because the boss man, he's around making high level decisions. He's making doing some staff work. He's making decisions that's going to affect the organization. And as a sergeant major, like you have to get out and get on your feet. Like in Afghanistan, I would fly around with the guys and check on the different places, or I'd pull my chaplain with me to go with wherever we want to try to gauge that. And we would run into some guys that were just like, what the hell, man? Like I'd have to have a conversation with that young commander, or sometimes there's beefs between the first sergeant and the commander, right? And then you got to figure out how to like talk to those two and try to pull them in and try to get them back on the same page. Like you don't necessarily want to like you got to go in there politically because you don't want to necessarily go in there and like think that you're picking sides, right? Because it's kind of it won't help with the situation. But having a good car, pulling them in the office, and as a sergeant major, I've tried to pull them in first before if they got to Chris's office, then it got a little serious, right? So you would try to fix those things with communication, because in the end, if it's coming down to, I can't counsel a commander. Like I can't. I can sit down and talk to you man to man and tell you, hey, sir, like you are not on the right track right now. And I tell you, like, the boss has got some set of eyes on you right now, man. And I think you might need to do some self-reflection and fix yourself, because, the next time you go in the boss's office, he can actually put you on paper. He can actually, do the things that you don't want to do. Right. So, Chris was really good at, talking to people, and I don't want to speak for him, but what I saw from him as a commander, like he was really good at like that engagement piece and like pulling those young guys in and talking to them and trying to get them on the right track. Some just won't because they were just knuckleheads. And, I seen some. I had one, I won't mention his name, but he was just, bro, like for me, he just was not NCO friendly at all. And to me, I'm like, man, yeah, as an officer. And I'm like, man, I'm like, sir, like I always ask, I'm like, sir, who was your what kind of relationship did you have with your platoon sergeant? Because to me, like, that's where that starts. Like if you like, that's where like it goes downhill. Like if you don't have a good relationship with your platoon sergeant, and you kind of, you won't get the change you need to get better. But he just wasn't, he just was very, very his way or the highway, not too much NCO input. And I had to step in a little bit and talk to him about it. And then it got to the point, I think Chris probably knows what I'm talking about, but I think Chris had to talk to him about it. And it just was like, man, dude, come on, bro. Like, your first sergeant, kind of like putting the first sergeant aside. And some first sergeants like, I'm not doing that crap. I'll do what, it ends up being this, right?
Yeah.
So we have to go in and kind of figure out politically how we kind of fix that. It's hard. Sometimes you just can't change them, and they just move on to another unit. So,
yeah, Doc, I'm basically going to echo what Jerry just said. But from my perspective, that is one of the key things that I utilized Jerry to do, was to help me keep a pulse on the unit as a whole. And then wherever we had potential friction points specifically, right? Because as much as I want to get out and go see soldiers in X, Y, and Z, like in Afghanistan, I know you probably don't remember this, but for those of y'all that are listening, if you decide to listen to my podcast or my interview with Doc, when that podcast drops, you'll hear me say that, like, I was grounded in Afghanistan. I was not allowed to leave our base by direct order of the 4-star commanding general there in Afghanistan. But what I had a great NCO that I trusted. And so I sent him out, and I sent my chaplain out and said, okay, go forth, do good things, and then come back and help me spread the word. Right. And so that's exactly what they did. And then when it would get to the point where they've done all that they can, or they're telling me, hey, sir, I really think you need to step in and talk to this officer or this NCO, then absolutely I would. We had some back in Fort Drum as well, that I had to call into the office a few times. And we had some great ones. Yeah. We had some great ones as well, right? That I would look at them and tell them, hey, I need you to just go out there and do great things. And those company commanders, that was all the guidance they needed. I would give them more than that, but that's all the guidance they needed. They would go out there with their first sergeants, and they would do fucking great things. The others, I would have to kind of spell it out for them and say, hey, look, this is your left and right limit. And right now, what I'm hearing is that there are some problems. So let's sit down and let's talk about it. And I mean, it becomes an uncomfortable conversation, getting back to the whole counseling piece that we talked about before. About being able to have a conversation with somebody that doesn't necessarily think they have a problem, and they think that they're doing extremely well, that everything that they've been told up until now, that they poop gold. Well, guess what? Everybody's poop kind of stinks, and right now yours stinks a lot. So this is what I need you to do. And for good or bad, it worked with some, others not so much.
Yeah. I would tell you, Doc, one thing I learned from Chris and what he did, man, like the officer, being an infantry officer is highly competitive, man. It is something, man. If you don't get that Ranger tab, you get a platoon. Like, it is very competitive. And seeing Chris manage that, and telling some guys, hey, you don't get Ranger school, you're not getting a platoon, but that's part of the job. You have to be Ranger qualified as an officer. That's preferred. Right. For, just to be put in that position. Right. But seeing how competitive that is, man, it's just crazy. It's you can't really mess up. And then if you put yourself in a position where your battalion commander's talking to you about your attitude or how you're treating your other soldiers, that's you're not going anywhere, bro, because that's not good, man. Yeah. But I would tell you one funny story, though, going back to what Chris said about why he could not leave the base, right, in Afghanistan. So me and Chris, we went to this place called Camp Dwyer, right? It's in Afghanistan. So we had no idea what we were doing when we were sent over to overseas. Like, we didn't know we're just going to get a deployment, go to Afghanistan, right? So we went to Camp Dwyer, and they're like, "Hey, man, like you guys are," and there's probably some folks out there that's been there, but they're like, "Hey, you guys are the command team for this base." I'm like, "Okay, Chris, you're the commander of Camp Dwyer," and we're like, "Jesus," and they're like, "Who else is on this base? Like, who else is?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, man, like, SEALs are here, like Dev Group and Ranger Battalion and SOAR and all these dudes are on this base. Oh yeah, by the way, there's also an Afghan, special forces company that manage the wires, like manage the towers, right?" And like, we had no idea about any of this, man. We get there, we do like the walk around of the base. Me and Chris are walking to this guard tower for the very first time. It's at the ECP. And like this Afghan commando, it's not like the regular Afghan commandos, man. It's like the 3-letter agency version of this, right?
Yeah.
And we're walking up and they're like shooting at people at the, I don't remember if you remember this, Chris, but they're like shoot. I'm like, what is going on, dude? I'm like, it is insane. But we didn't know what we're a base commander of what? And so I have to go out there and Chris has to go out there and like, of course, I'm the sergeant major, man. So, like, what do I have to do? I have to set standards for the base, and setting standards for dudes that are like jumping hills and without shirts on and 4-wheelers at Camp Dwyer, or you're not wearing whatever they want to the chow hall. Like, I'm just like, dude, like, what am I like? I put a like, I was like, Chris, what am I gonna do, bro? Unfortunately, it was hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. We had to go with those guys and do some briefings for the base and stuff. And me and Chris were like the conventional guys sitting in a room versus killers. It's just like, oh, shit.
Oh yeah.
With General Miller sitting right next to us, right? And I'm like, dude, I gotta set some standards here, like not just for the SF guys, but like for my dudes, right? Like, I don't want it to turn into a situation where we're kind of losing discipline, right? And you can say what you want between the two units. Conventional is different than SF. It's totally different, right?
Right.
But like trying to do that, man, I'm like, dude. Luckily, I had some senior enlisted in those organizations that supported me, man. It made it easier. But man, me and Chris were like, dude, like what? Chris is like briefing people on base shit for Dwyer, and it was insane, man. But that's the reason why he couldn't leave that base because he was stuck as the commander of Camp Dwyer. So just to clarify.
No, it was, but that's a great point, Jerry. That like we talk about. Actually, I'm going to bring this full circle back to one of your first questions about like taskings and why a soldier is there until 8:00 at night, right? So when we go to Afghanistan, like. He's not lying when Jerry tells you our orders were go to Afghanistan. Period.
Yeah.
And do what? Go to Afghanistan. Period. Oh, okay. Now, I mean, we knew that we were going to have some people here, we were going to have some people there, we were going to have some people here. But when we were going over there, I had maybe 3 or 4 different people trying to get in touch with me saying, hey, you're going to come work for me. No, you're going to come work for me. No, you're going to come work for me. Well, last time I checked, there's only one of me, so I'm not going to work in 3 or 4 different spots. That it's like, okay, what exactly is it that we're going to be doing? And it wasn't until Jerry and I got over there that, yeah, I mean, I definitely remember that day. I almost pooped my pants in that damn tower. Because it was just like we're doing a left seat, right seat, and next thing I know, a 240 opens up, and I don't even have kit on. I'm like, what the? But yeah, no, I mean, it's like talking with that guy. Luckily, Matt Dawson, a great guy, Colonel Matt Dawson, still in, had a really good left seat, right seat as much as we could. It's like, all right, man, this is what you're going to be doing. All right, these are the people on the base and all this stuff. And I'm looking at Jerry like, what the hell? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, are these people even going to listen to us when we talk?
Yeah, bro. I'm like, we're trying to run base defense drills, and like, there's 160th guys working out, and I'm like, my guys are clearing the gym. I'm like, dude, can you guys go to the bunker or something so I can like can I finish the rehearsal before everybody starts? Like, I know it's your workout time, but like, dude, we gotta, if this base gets attacked, we gotta plan for it, guys. Like, nothing against those guys, it just was it is. But that was a very hard deployment, man, manning wise too, because we had to send guys home because manning levels would change like all the time, and so we had to send guys home that went there, and they weren't very happy about it, and we had to put people in position that back in rear. Nobody ever wants to be a rear D, bro, but like we had to put our good ones on the leadership position in rear D, like First Sergeant Wagner and all those guys. He didn't want to go back, but I had to like, send someone back there that can be you could be badass to do what you got to do. But closing down some of those bases, bro, like even like the old boardwalk and walking out there and seeing everything collapse into the center, and like knowing this is like 20 something years of, Kandahar, Bagram's all shut down. And our guys didn't really go in there thinking there wasn't a lot of kinetic things till the end, but they went in there to do a logistical breakdown of all these bases, but just seeing all the stuff and all the history of a lot of your viewers served over there, and seeing those bases shut down was something. And I know Chris did a lot of time. He did a lot more time over there in the Corps. I think Korngar, right, Chris? Like, you did a lot of stuff over there, and like knowing all that stuff and seeing those things break down, it was kind of like, man, it was like, holy shit, this is so unreal.
Yeah, surreal.
And then we got to the point where we say, hey, we did this tactical closeout. We left at 0-3 from Dwyer in Gray Tails with U8 like little birds shooting rock. It was fucking cool. But Chris had to take the company to H Kaya. So they took Chris to him and Chris went to H Kaya. And we made the decision to say, hey, like, Sergeant Major, you're going to go with the rest of the battalion, and I'm going to go to H Kaya, which I still struggle with that decision personally.
Yeah.
But it was the right decision in the end, because the rest of the battalion was in Kuwait. We were in Kuwait, sitting in Kuwait, just burning up, dude. And I'm sitting in front of the guys like, hey, man, like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I wish I do.
Yeah.
What was happening, but we didn't know all the H Kaya stuff was happening, right?
Yeah.
So, Chris sent those guys. You probably talked about this in your pod.
He sure did, dude.
He sure did. But like, just I'm saying it from my perspective, right?
Yeah.
It was hard on my end, man, because I had to take the boys home, right?
Yeah,
and leave Chris and Element there to kind of do what they have to do, which was kind of hard. It was a hard mission. But like, dude, I couldn't ask for a better guy to go do all that stuff with. So it was cool. I took a lot of shit when I came home. I went through a lot of shit on that, but it was a crazy mission, by the way, man. And I tell you, like, again, to all the guys out there, you guys did an incredible job, and I'm super proud of you.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap up this podcast, I wanna just give y'all the floor, one each. What would you tell like younger soldiers about talking to the sergeant major? Like, if like, how would you tell them to approach them?
So
we're gonna do the colonel. We're gonna do the colonel afterwards. So go and think about it.
Okay. Yeah. He probably has. I mean, me and him are intertwined, bro, in thought process. So like, it's kind of hard to like if we're kind of like together. Like, it's kind of, we think the same. It's true. I was sitting in meetings like, I fucking thought of that too. Or he thought, or I'm gonna piggyback up. No, I'm just joking. But like, man, I would just tell you, use your sergeant major, man. He's not the bad guy all the time. Most of them, I would say 95% of them have the best interests of the organization in their heart, and they want to make sure that you are successful. So when a sergeant major comes and engages with you, be tactical about what you got to do, but talk to him, man. If there's some stuff that you want to talk to him, because that's what he's looking for, right? I didn't go to like, sure, I go and do my engagements, man, but I just want to I'm trying to feel what's happening in the battalion. Like, express yourself in a tactical way, man, and try to like, and use them as much as you can. He's there for the organization. Like, when we talk about the open door policy, like, you can go talk to your sergeant major, man. There's nothing, nothing, you can get something out of it. Right. But, it was, Cordova.
That's your S1 NCO right there.
Yeah, that's my S1. He did a great job, by the way, Cordova. You were awesome, brother. I appreciate all the hard work. But yeah, man, just talk to utilize your sergeant major. He's not always the villain. You might think he is, but he does have the best heart and best. He's got the best in his heart. He wants best for the organization, right?
Right.
And like, and you try to pick his brain and some knowledge, man. He's out there. These guys like talking to some of your young soldiers, man. I loved it. I love talking to young soldiers outside of like, hey, man, what's going on? Just having that conversations, man. And the best sergeant major, I think one of the best sergeant majors I ever served was in the 82nd Airborne Division. His name was Sergeant Major Flowers, man. And he did a very good job at like engagement. And I think he knew every soldier in the battalion by name, and it wasn't, and soldiers would easily come up to him and talk because he was very open. And going into that, I don't necessarily like the soldiers are going to be soldiers, but man, I have advice for sergeant majors though. Like you got to open up a little bit and show some humility. Right. You got to be approachable, man. Like if you're setting this stone face, like I'm the sergeant major king of the castle, you're not going to get anywhere with your battalion. Right. So open up to and listen to what your soldiers are saying. Yes, there's going to be some noise in there, but have that conversation and engage it, man. Don't be such a like, I'm privileged to be in this position because that's the wrong answer. Right. That's my advice to those guys. Like, because a lot of the soldiers, man, like I'll just keep rambling, but utilize your sergeant major, but my advice is for sergeant majors to freaking just open up a little bit, show some humility, and get down there and talk to engage. I think so. That might not make any sense.
And the battalion commander, final message. What about for the young lieutenants and then the soldiers out there? What would you tell them?
Okay, so you got to remember, it's almost like a messaging campaign, right? Because you're talking about the highest ranking NCO in the Army, and you're talking about a senior field grade officer. So when we walk around, and I'm restating something that you and I talked about, Doc, when we walk around the battalion headquarters and we walk around the battalion footprint, for Private Heim and Private Rowe and Doc, we are Big Army. And so there's a lot of mystique, a lot of baggage that comes with that. And so Private Heim is probably, and maybe this is a good thing, he's probably scared shitless to talk to the BC and the Sergeant Major.
100%.
Right? And so it's
absolutely.
Yeah, and so it's on me in my battle to go over there and break the ice.
Yeah.
And so one of the techniques I did, definitely more so when we got back from the deployment, is I would basically corner people out in the open, right, after a safety brief, or when Battle and I are out walking around, I kind of corner them over there and make them talk to me. Right. And then I'd be like, all right, now I want you to come see me in my office, do an office call. I want to sit down. We just had a good conversation about something. Come see me. And it got there towards the end where I had, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people just kind of on rotating office calls. They'd come in for about 30 minutes at a time throughout, a month or so period where I'd literally just pull them into the office, open door, and bullshit with them. Like, hey, what's going on? Specialist Hayward was one of them. One of my guys in the S6 shop. We just sit there and talk about books that he liked to read and books that I like to read, and what's going on in the world right now. And you have to find a way to humanize yourself as a command team to your soldiers, while also maintaining that level of separation, so that when Polar Bear 6 and Polar Bear 7 walk in the room, you're still going to the position of attention and you're still going to the position of parade rest until you're told to relax, right? You've got to have that discipline. But I still need you to know that my battle and I were humans. Right. Believe it or not, I was a private at one point in time, just like Jerry was a private at one point in time. I did stupid shit. He did stupid shit. Yeah, long time ago. Yeah.
Can I just tell one more story?
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah,
Please.
Can I tell one more story? Do you remember, because going into your point, this is a great point. Do you remember, like when I tell sergeant majors they got to show a little bit of humility and do what they got to do? You remember when we were, I think it was Christmas, and we were walking through the rooms to check on, I was checking on the rooms, right, or something, and I walked into the room with the soldier that was drinking and was highly drunk. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And my first instinct as a leader was I was going to crush this kid because he was like, dude, he wasn't dressed. He was liquor bottles everywhere, alcohol. Like, I mean, he was drinking like 151, bro. Like, I'm not talking
Yeah.
light stuff.
Yeah.
And my first instinct as an NCO is like, I'm going to crush you, dude. Like, I'm the sergeant major. What the hell? Like, I'm going to crush you. But then, like, you have to have the ability to read soldiers, right? You got to understand, like, okay, he started explaining to me. He was drunk, or still drunk on duty, but he starts crying and he starts having these issues, and I'm like, oh man, I have to shift from being the kind of like a dick, right, to being human, right? Like,
Yeah.
and we found out later that he was very on the just having that engagement with him and pulling him in and say, hey man, what is going on, bro? Like, what's happening? We need to fix whatever's happening in your life, because it was more than him just drinking. He had so many other issues going on in his world and his mind that caused him to do that. We don't know where this could have went if I would have kept pressuring him and smoked him and did this thing and just left him in his room. I don't know where that could have went, right? But I think the point of the story is what Chris was saying is we got to, as leaders, man, we got to be able to, one, know your soldiers, right, and then being able to shift from being that hard NCO or commander and just say, get down to their level and doing that, because I still remember that story, and it's something that that'll live with me for a while, that you're going in there engaging that kid, because I just wanted to, his room was disgusting and he was drunk and I could easily switched on him, but being able to identify him and pulling him in and take him as company commander and sit down with him and find out what's going on. I think eventually it worked out. I'm not too sure we went later on in life, but yeah, I mean, those are one of the things we recommend. I mean, just be human. Yeah. I don't think me and Chris were known for, and it's up in the air whether we were the good or bad, right? In what we did at the time. I'm sure there's some people that think differently.
I don't know, man. People like you guys.
Yeah,
I'll say this. I'll say this real quick, Jerry, and for you, Doc. Like, statistics are, you can make statistics say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, statistics generally don't lie. Statistically speaking, we were the best. Okay,
we're the best all the time.
There you go.
We won every fucking competition, and it didn't matter whether it was Cordova down there and his pack clerks being the best in the division, or if it was Charlie Rock or Alpha or whoever. 9 times out of 10, Polar Bears won. Now, is that because of you and me? That's right. Now, is that because oh shit, Bico Besco? Is that because of you and me? No. But it is a direct reflection on us. Yeah. And the soldiers that we were lucky enough to lead, like Cordova down there, and some of the others, and yeah, I mean, it was. I agree. You said this earlier. It was fucking awesome. I love being a Polar Bear.
I think what's important too, what you just said, it's like this is where the real army happens. Okay, this is the battalion and under is like where the real army happens. I know soldiers probably don't believe it, but that is like this is the soldiering, and it's important. So
yeah, I went on to, like I said, I went on to Honduras to be a CSM, and then I went to West Point to be a sergeant major. But dude, like, when you get higher in level, like when you become a brigade commander or a brigade sergeant major, you get pulled out of the those engagements with the young guys and going to their live fires and seeing them do well. There's nothing better than seeing the boys just kill it on a live fire. But like the politics come into it. I think Chris told me I was shitty as a politician. I don't know, back in the days, but I wasn't very good at politics. But
I think Chris would
yeah,
be a great politic.
Oh yeah, dude, amazing politician, amazing politician. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks. It's good. Like being at the battalion, especially with that battalion, it's truly an honor and amazing to do that.
All right, before we go, give me a safety brief.
I'm going to piggyback off the commander. I want to piggyback off the commander.
All right, come on,
you're going to piggyback off me?
Yeah, commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen up, you killers. You got a 4-day weekend coming up. You do something stupid, make sure you got a battle buddy with you. Okay? Because polar bears don't get caught, number one. Number two, if you're going to do something really stupid, here's my cell phone number. I ain't giving it to all you yahoos, but here's my cell phone number. Give me a call and I will come pick your ass up. Now, Taylor, I will be glad to fly out to Hawaii and pick you up if you need me to, but it had better be damn important if you're going to get me all the way out to Hawaii. Cordova, I'm not coming to get you. You're a big boy. You're out of the military. Figure it out. Okay? Don't play golf in the rain. There's such thing as lightning. And if you're going to have sex, for God's sake, please use protection. All right? Sergeant Major, what you got?
I'm piggyback off the commander. Hey, I do have one thing to say, though. One thing to say, and you'll like it, sir. Polar bears are real. They are.
Polar bears are real.
It's a code word. No, but hey, Doc. So for everybody that's out there and given this opportunity to be on here and talk through some of our craziness that we experienced over 30 months with that battalion. Again, I'm truly honored. And Chris, it's good seeing you, man. I know Chris is a Florida State fan, by the way. So graduate from Florida State, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, and a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan? Because we watched the Super Bowl.
Go Bucs.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But hey, man, Doc, hey, it's been an honor, brother. I appreciate you having us on, man. And thank you guys and everybody that's out there. Appreciate you listening. If you could go on here and share Doc's page on YouTube. I think he's on Spotify and all these other things. He's a social, like he's a genius at this stuff.
You're better than I am, dude.
But just go on there and share it. Like there's not too many podcasts out there that are real like his. His is very real and raw, and it lets us in our community, especially the conventional side, tell our stories. And I think that's truly amazing. It's nothing against SF and those Ranger guys, but it's not oversaturated with that and letting us tell our stories and getting it out there. And you have some really, really cool guests. I was watching through some of your videos that you have, some of your pods. So please, if you're out there, please share and like all his stuff, man, because we got to do whatever we can to help Doc out because he's doing a great job, great thing for the veteran community here, man. It's awesome.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it, brother. Mr. Rowe, anything last words?
No, I think Sergeant Major said it all.
Thank you.
I piggyback off you, sir.
Chris Rowe's podcast dropping. Damn, my dates are all messed up. February 18th. All right, everybody go check it out. Thank you, Jerry, Chris. It was fun. We should do it again. And that's what I got for the command team.
Take care, guys.
Yep, everybody have a good weekend.
Thanks, brother.
Don't drink and drive.
Both of you
Call
take
staff
care.
duty. Call staff duty's number.
That's right.